approach the city state, they are aware that great Baroness Gorina and her brilliant cousin Drano have now been able to celebrate their great successes because today, on the day of construction, they've completed great monuments, an aqueduct, maybe a cantilevered method of getting supplies from the docks well below the city up to the great heights of this seaside township. Or maybe there's a construction of a large defensive measure, something to hold back the hordes of enemies that have besieged this land. Or maybe the Baroness um, is very religious, and the people here have to give great want to honor the gods, or maybe even create a monument to an enemy itself to appease them, so that they no longer have to pay high taxes or something. Or lastly, maybe the Baroness has built something for her own ego, using the lives and the backs using the lives and destroying the backs of the common people to build a monument to her greatness. But whatever the case may be, today is the day of construction, and we're going to use that for our tabletop role playing experience. Let's hit the intro so you have an opportunity to fill up the tank of your mind fuel and come on back in. Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and we have a series just the day of. And this week we were talking about crafting and construction. With today specifically is about construction. Yes, we talked about apothecaries and herbalists and alchemists and such, but today we're going to talk about construction and maybe go into a little bit of a artificer, artificer, using gears and steam and that kind of methods. But for a larger scope, we're just going to talk about construction, at least in the very beginning, and using that for a tabletop role playing mind fuel, as it were. Now, in construction, we often as adventurers come upon something that has either been destroyed or is ancient, or does not exist yet. But the middle ground, a construction site, maybe there is a grand monument carved, a bas relief face on the side of a mountain that is half finished, or there's an artist colony that is construction. Besides, says busy as fuck with a day of construction. Yeah, that often happens a lot, right? And we start to get busy, but you're fine. You're perfectly fine. Just sit back and relax. But yes, literally a construction site itself can be a bit of an amazing place to be. We have our very industrious classic dwarves and gnomes that are known for large style construction. And how the heck did those twin statues get built when in the movie version, at least, the Lord of the Rings, that very iconic small boat, super large, um, towering statues that are guarding this pathway into a bay of sorts or whatever. Who made those statues, and how was that possible? Were they carved literally from the mountain side over generations? And was there a full generation of, or multiple generations of people who never saw the results of what they were trying to accomplish? Or were they pieced together constructed, carved out of stone in a distant place, and the dwarves brought it here and stacked it one on top of another. I mean, and there's many other other than monuments. There's many other things that are constructed, like all those dungeons that have been constructed in the Underdark. Somebody had to build those things. Uh, yeah, exactly. Ancient aliens. Like Drew's like, yeah, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens, right? And as sarcastic as that is, maybe there might be little aliens. Maybe part of it, yes, of course. Maybe on the day of construction, it's everyone looks around like, psst, get the strange outward, outlying beings from distant land to help us make this thing. It may almost be like the idea of leaving out like milk and cookies for fey creatures that help clean the house, and you turn your back and look back again, and now the house is clean. No one ever sees how it's built. It just exists or something. But we know the both historical and mythological stories of great kings, dictators, and such, building monuments to their own egos and using the people uh, to do such a thing, and as well as the opposite, which are great artists that feel consumed, um, propelled by this inner light inside of them, that they have to get out this artistry, and some of that may be um, putting together a thing that everyone thinks that they're crazy, or it's not possible, or trying to achieve something that even they may not see in their own lifetime, to build something. Then there's also great works for the population. The aqueduct is the first thing that comes to mind, but in fantasy RPGs, it could be the building of cantilevered, you solving a problem, living in a extraordinary location. So I brought up the idea of goods and services, um, you know, ships coming into a bay. The population doesn't want to live close to the shoreline because that's where storms hit. They live way up on the hills. So how do they get all the tonnage of all the goods that they have in the off the ships up to the high end? Well, you could have caravans and things like that, but maybe somebody creates like a cable car system, or a crane lever system that's weighted on one end but a big platform on the other, that's a big arm that goes and reaches down and grabs things up. Heck, you could even have a caldera that grabs ships from below to lift them up on into a lake that's on top of a mountain or something. These great constructed elements, the player characters may either see them, uh, sabotage. An idea could be hunting down the people who are trying to sabotage this thing. I could imagine the Guild of Caravanners doesn't want a mechanical arm lifting goods from ships up to the top city when the caravanners are paid great money to do the same thing. We see that in present day, where we have people arguing, or unions arguing over, hey, you're implementing a machine that takes away our jobs, which takes away our livelihood, and arguments and sabotage may occur that way. There's also the brilliance of the individuals who are hired, or some of them might be pressed into service, but the brilliant individuals who are like, you know what? We keep having to go to this place to get the water to bring it back to town, and then pour it into this cistern thing, and it's not really clean. Maybe we can make a half pipe and get the water to come up. There's also an screw, Archimedes screw water pump. Yeah. Like there's an Archimedes uh screw that was used to, someone who was very brilliant or whatever, to figure out how to get water from a low level to a high level, and it's pretty brilliant. I mean, and this is just an example of a thing that, where including these individuals who are technologically savvy into the world makes great sense. This is a good one too. Here's an image. Right off to the left of my face, the water level is at the bottom, and then by turning the screw, the water is basically grabbed by the spiral, and then it deposits the water at the higher level. And very, very brilliant. There's a where was I at? Oh, I was in Seattle, and they have like a science center there, and it's pretty brilliant, very brilliant. Yep, yep, yep. And this one is a tube, a spiral tube. The bottom of the spiral tube picks up the water, and then there are the low parts of the spiral that are wrapped around a pipe, hold the water inside of it as it spins, and then it deposits it at the higher end, and that's really cool. And then I'd like to share with you like the seven wonders of the world, right? Which I actually never knew the actual names of all the seven wonders. But there's the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Great Pyramid, the Colossus of Rhodes, the Temple of Artemis, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, and the mausoleum at, and I'm going to butcher, Halicarnassus, and then the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And yes, much of this are, these the seven great wonders is about like monuments. And in a fantasy realm, it might be pretty important to get some giant monuments made. The monuments made to the gods uh isn't just for faith. It could be for like building uh what are they called? Gargoyles. Gargoyles and demons on the sides of Gothic buildings wasn't there because people liked evil. It was there to appease or scare away evil spirits and things. Thomas Anderson says, or some magic substance from a particular tree that allows dissolving rocks and then pouring them into a position to harden one bucket at a time instead of dragging solid blocks of stone. Maybe uh maybe people create something like, maybe there could be like sponge rocks or something, a very special or a very special wood or something, like, hey, just dip this in the water and it can carry 10 times as much fluid from one place to another. Yeah, it this is fantasy, but I love the idea of even having a battle inside of a construction site. I brought up the movie The River Kwai. Hey, Ann Voom, greetings as well. I brought up the movie The River Kwai, Bridge Over the River Kwai. Ooh, excuse me. About a movie ostensibly about prisoners of war who are tasked with building a bridge, knowing that if they complete the construction of the bridge, it will make it easier for the enemy to dominate their friends and allies, and they don't want that to happen. But not building the bridge pretty much means them torturing death, and then a bridge will still get built. So the concept is and it's also a humanistic story. The pride of building a thing, constructing a thing, using their skills and teamwork and whatnot, makes a bond of individuals who've been scattered and brought together, that have to work together, and the building of the bridge makes them work together, and then at the very end of it they destroy the bridge, right? So um which is a choice, and it shows that humanistically we love our choices, right? And if that choice even means destroying the very beautiful thing that we built, whatever, it's my choice, right? Ta talks about solubility of rocks. Yep. Uh, cool. Ain Voom says, throwing this out here, I once had a campaign that was uh, inspired by the pillars of the earth. So the main theme of the construction of a temple was always in the background. And we often in world building, and I forget this all the time. Often in world building, I'm glad you brought this up, and that um, we design in world building as if the world has already existed. It's already there. It's static. Um, y- but how interesting would it be that a great monument or temple or something isn't built in your world, But over time, the player characters are like, um, in the background, there's a dwarven caravans are bringing great blocks of stone and such from the mountain hab down to this city, and the PCs are like, huh, that's interesting. It's just in the background, and then an adventure or two later, uh, artisans from far, wide and far, come to the city to take the stones to stack them in a particular order or whatever. And then there are um, the faithful cultists or whatever that are there to oversee the construction of the temple to ensure that it is facing the right way or whatever. And then over time, then there's this giant temple in this place that didn't exist, and the player characters are like, oh, that's interesting, right? Like the fact that things aren't being built in a world building setting that is alive or should feel like it's alive is kind of odd, because humanity is, we're always trying to solve a problem. And I don't mean, forget the magic. Human beings are trying to always solve problems, because even after we solve one problem, we end up, that alleviates the our brain power to let us find other problems. And so, for example, you know, hey, it's harvest time. Okay, great. Everyone's coming to town with their caravans of goods and things, and then it's like, there's too many people in this in the city state waiting outside the gates. There's got to be a better way. Oh, how about we construct a warehouse district to put all the grains and seeds and labor animals and other, the sheep and the cows and oh, that would be a great idea. How about we do that? And then it's like the families are like, you know what? Every time we have to leave our farms, that's less people there. Can we just send an emissary and then you guys bring a thing, and so on and so forth. Drew's like, but how do I get the aliens to build the monuments now? Aliens are like all like upset, like, we built pyramids. Why are they building them now? This sucks. Or the aliens arrive and they're like, hey, listen, we already did it, so just come have a beer. And they're like, cool, sweet. Like, no anal probing? Haha, you're so funny. No, maybe next time. All right, let's put away the brass tubes again, I guess. Thomas Anders says, or see how the characters react to being part of the building of something either great and good or great and terrible, sort of. How the doctor was responsible for blowing the volcano that buried Pompeii. Yes, I love the idea of the players being involved in the building of a thing, and then what happens when the building of a thing has um unintended consequences, like, you know players may be resistant to wanting to help people build a monument to the gods, but if one of the characters is a cleric, why wouldn't a cleric be involved in that? Or like, yeah, come on, let's hurry up and finish this thing, or let's protect the people that are building this thing, and then something else happens. Players helping to rebuild after an aftermath would be a great storyline to keep them, to bond them with NPCs in a local area. Hey, hey, remember the bay that gets slammed with storms, each season? Well, the storms have ended, but they've destroyed a number of homes and the docks are destroyed. And that big crane that was lifting all those goods, well, it fell over too. So we need your help in uh, bringing those things back, and the population can't get their life back until we can get ships into the bay, and we need to rebuild the dock, so can you help us? And the PCs are like, yeah, sure, mage hand, telekinetic. I'm a barbarian that can lift 5 times as much as zero levels and whatnot. So yeah, putting the PCs in a part where they're either building something great and good or great and terrible is excellent, especially if it has those unintended consequences of summoning, bringing, changing society, and all kinds of things. Or, I mean, maybe the players are thanked for making a small community into a global power. Now that they have, every other place they have to literally, you know, bring the camels and the elephants down to get all the goods, to put it in carts, to take it uphill. And this one place is like, no, we got a crane. And this is great. Twist, 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 turn, 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 lower platform, stick 50 tons of material on it, lift, 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 turn. Okay, we're done. Now we can go party. Um, yeah, it would be awesome. Yeah, TA says, and as a result, not only killing the people, but also an alien refugee group to protect the native human populace of the whole world. You took that to a dark region. Yeah, tricking aliens to do the work for you. We're gonna have to write that one down. Yep. Great aliens. We don't know how to do the thing. And the guy next to him's like, yeah, we know how to shh aliens. We don't know how to construct the bridges and temples and stuff. Could you help us? And the aliens are like, wow, these people really don't know. Hey, okay, yeah, we'll help you. And the humans are like, whew. The aliens are like cats. Oh no, they can do the things for you. They're just waiting for you to do it because they're lazy. Yeah. Ayan says for sci-fi, Foundation comes to mind. Good people copy, great people steal. Yep. Yep. Which is also another heist story, right? Hey, the the neighboring people built an aqueduct. How do we build our own? Especially if that creator, that Da Vinci like creator is like, nope, this is a one-off. I'm done. And everyone's like, I think the entire all five cities would love to have that cable car system, and they're like, no, I'm done. That's all right. Mm-mm. Oh no, 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 no! You left your cell phone in the lift. Damn. Oh shit. I am so sorry there, heathen. Wow. Don't know what I'm going to do. I can't afford a new cell phone. It's not. It's on do not disturb. Damn. Yeah, I was going to say like jailbreaking phones isn't as a big of a thing, but if it's locked and you can't just ping it. I mean, I don't know. Go to the phone provider. Is there a way for them to like? Do they have tracking technology on our phones, even though they claim they don't? I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Sorry about that, dude. Drew says, "Let's build a Death Star." Ooh, shit. All right, Andor. One of the greatest sci-fi Star Wars creations out there. Kind of the brilliant stepchild of the Star Wars franchise. But yeah, I mean, building components to a thing that's going to destroy everybody else. I mean, there's a tracking technology. Yes, they do. Remember that Snowden said, yeah, exactly. Like they're like, we don't have tracking technology. Yeah, you do. When I hear this is I reported to Lyft and they will email the driver, but that isn't reassuring. Yeah, because if all they have to do is pick up one other person who goes, "Oh, block of dark glass pocket." Yeah, I'm not depending on the driver getting back to me. I'm so fucked. Oh, I'm so sorry. Unless people are just good. I mean, I've picked up wallets and cash and money and cell phones and things like that and track people down. I'm a letter carrier too, so like I've opened up phones and looked for people and called and said, "Listen, you don't know who I am, but I'm calling the last person that was called on this phone to let you know that the person who owns this phone lost their phone. Could you please contact them and come to the post office?" Yeah, yeah. Andor was brilliant, and oh, the part the part two of the show where they're in the prison. Like the first part is the heist, second part is the prison. Oh, brilliant show. That just the way it was written. Andy Serkis proves to us once again. I don't even know why we're surprised anymore that Andy Serkis is the man's man. Oh my god. Yeah, Shai says a taxi driver ran to bring me back my cell phone once. Yeah, cell phones today are, I think, treated like horses of yesteryear. It's like you if I can feel the pain, I know what your pain feels like. So I hope that individual finds it and goes, "Oh, wow." And then they put two and two together, right? They get the message, they see the phone and they go, "Hey, let's figure out how to get this person their item back." So I don't want to belabor the fact because I know it hurts. So I apologize. It's like being connected to the world and to all human information is and feeling like you're not connected to it anymore is horrible. But building of the Death Star itself, it is, I mean, that is kind of what I'm talking about today. Like, what if the player characters know that a great evil is building a thing and that they have to be the saboteurs, but the big bad evil is still trying to build the thing. Like, I'm okay. I don't want to belabor the Death Star, but I'm trying to think of something like well, a factory to punch out Warforged, right? If there's a big giant, someone's trying to make a factory of a sentient, semi-sentient robot, steam powered gear forged that are going to dominate the society and walk out there. What is it? Not Iron Sworn, Iron Kingdoms. Um, I think it's Iron Kingdoms that's got the yeah. It's Iron Kingdoms. Let's share this out here. Yeah, in Iron Kingdoms, they've got some great great imagery. But anyway, where's one where we get to see like what are their mechanical being their obsidian portal. There we go, to the left of me. You could see like the our characters here, and then you see like this steam powered monstrosity in the background. Um, the miniatures are they are brilliant looking. But let's see if we can get another one. This is off a dice breaker or whatever. But anyway, yeah, having these mechanical creatures and things like that. I mean, if there's an enemy constructing these kind of things, it would behoove the player characters to stop the thing. Um, even if it's half finished and whatnot. And then that means the player characters can't run too far away. They have to stay close to engage in the heist and the sabotage. Where at the same time, there's this escalation of the enemy maybe gathering more allies because the despite the fact everyone hates this new enemy, they may benefit from the thing, or they don't want to be in the sights of the great evil, so rather be an ally than an enemy. Oh, I'm so sorry, Heathen. Yeah, I hope the individual finds it, keep returns it. Ah, I'm so sorry. And it's so friggin' early in the morning for you. Why are you here? You don't need you're what's going on with you and yourself. And I understand that maybe we can alleviate the pressure that's building on you on your shoulders, but you don't owe us anything at all. Yeah. AM Boom says, I mean, the grittiness was always what attracted me to Star Wars. Rogue One was brilliant too. Yeah, it's that show. It was better than it deserved to be. It's so good that I often hear, including myself in Star Wars conversations, not bringing it up, um, because it it was so far outside the norm of Star Wars that it was like too good for what it was. And it's just basically dialogue and blocking and no Jedi and no Sith, although you know was Lucian or Luthen some kind of like gray Jedi or something, probably, without saying so. Yeah, I mean, how many times did he carry a strange rod or walking stick or something and wearing black clothing and stuff? Yeah, complete liar. Yeah, yeah. Um, TA says, actually, like the driver's license of yesterday, think how not being able to prove who you are. That seems aching and losing a tech connection. I agree. I agree. Someone returning a license, someone returning a phone today is like, what was it? It was a death sentence if you took someone's horse, right? You don't. What is this? This horse is walking around randomly. We need to get this horse back to the person that owns it because they need it, right? So yeah, hopefully someone will contact you even if they want a small reward for returning it. I wouldn't want a reward. Um, Every time I lost my shit, but only once somebody brought it back to me. Give money to beggars. Somebody will bring your shit back. Yeah, 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 yeah. Karma. Yeah. Yep. 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 I love. I know a lot of it is set up, but I love the. I love the YouTube channels where they give people, uh, unsuspecting people who feel like they don't deserve or need it. They give them like cash and money and things like that. Oh, because I can't sleep, I'm losing my mind. Can't sleep at the moment. Damn it, dude. Um, Ann Boom says Andor did all the uncomfortable things that had to be done. Yeah, I mean the opening scene where he shoots not only an Imperial guy but his informant too. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, Tom Sanders says, "Yep, horse and bedroll too." Yeah, if someone's horse and you find somebody's horse and bedroll, you're like, "Holy shit, they need this," and return it to them. Yeah, yeah. It's the same concept for uh nav uh naval lifestyle that you are to lend your help to other people in the open ocean, no matter who they are. And it's strange to think this, but the cruise industry and the industry captains take that to heart, despite the fact that it costs the cruise industry lots of money. They will turn their ships and help people lost at sea or refugees or things like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a naval thing too. You do the thing because it's what you're supposed to do. And honestly, despite the fact that there's lots of assholes in the world, uh, there's some great pride in doing what needs to be done. Um, just helping people and stuff like that. People take it's like it's a psychological badge of honor, and I love it. I love doing it if I can help somebody without a reward. Drew says, I think Lucian is like Obi-Wan in the Kenobi series or Luke in the sequel, someone who has not used the Force in some time. I agree. I absolutely agree. And also, I think I know we're devolving off of this, but we'll turn Andor into this because of the prison scene in just a minute, because it does make a lot of sense. I think Lucian also realizes that there's no need to use to accomplish a task. There's no need to use the Force because he's already got other skills, right? So it's not like it's like the idea of using the Force to open to hit a button, open up a door, right? Like why go through all that? Why not just walk up to the door and press the button or wave your hand in front of it, right? So I think there's a little bit of that. Well, quite a bit of that too. Um, I could also see him. Um, what's the term? Um, Turning the use of the force into a hidden ball so that it can't be detected. It's like the reverse of using the force. It's like I'm not going to use it so no one knows that I even have a connection to the thing, so that no one can find me, right? No, because then he would draw the attention of very powerful forces. Um, he wouldn't even want to draw the forces of other Jedi if he was related to that, because he's just like, look, I'm gonna be a martyr to this thing. I got to do some terrible stuff. Even my allies, my Jedi allies, wouldn't want me to do this kind of thing. So yeah, one I hear this is literally waiting for my state to send me my ID. Actually, wow, recently moved. Oh, okay. So screwed. I hope to have good karma. Try to help people. Yep. Nah, you're good as far as the karmic energy goes. When I hear this might be an interesting plot hook. I love this idea. Yeah, the characters find a lone horse with a saddle and supplies and no rider. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know how animals sometimes will return to their comfort, right? You find a mount and supplies but no rider, and then the PCs are like, take us back to, come on. They feed it or something, and then the animal wants to go back to where their rider was, and boom, story hook. I love that. And Boom says, as for constructs, I currently run the Pathfinder Adventure Path Iron Gods. Ooh, where an old crashed ship's computer core got so sentient that it claims godhood. I love, yeah, yeah, yeah. For those who don't know, in the Pathfinder has its own world. I'm going to butcher it. Galarian, and then each of those nations has a like a thematic element to it, which Iron Gods takes place in, and I don't remember the city, but it's or countryside, but it's where Starship lands, and in Fantasy Dungeons and Dragons, and it's That's not new. Pathfinder was created by people who worked for um, TSR and or WotC at the time. I can't remember during that transition. But anyway, um, when they left, yeah, that thing. Yeah, Drew's like, yeah, karma is a weird concept. I don't believe that this exists, but I create stories. I'm the same way. I'm a bit of a hypocrite myself, in the sense of like I'm very much a realist, but I like karma. So to me, I kind of pretend like there really is karma. I don't know. I convince myself of a thing, even though intellectually I know the thing doesn't exist. But yeah, yeah. I'm with you, heathen. Yeah, there's no yeah, there's no rational reason to believe in karma. But damn, I want to believe it right now. Although mathematically speaking, we are dice rollers, and there is once you start rolling a ton of dice, you do start to get bell curves. And so sometimes when terrible things or extremely good things happen on the very tail ends, we hope that the math of life rolls back to the middle where it kind of like evens itself out. So I think I think it's a little bit more than rational that we kind of turn our brains into something like that. But anyway, getting back to Andor, Andor is, for those who don't know, Andor. Spoiler alert: gets arrested on some bullshit and gets put into a work camp to start building things and constructing things. And the idea of like the player characters understanding or even being part of, like, how many times has the characters are captured, you must escape routine been done? Plenty of times, for good or bad, right? Whether you're taking the player character's agency away in the very beginning of the story and just leaving it open or whatever, that's a very common thing. But imagine the player characters are like captured, knocked out, whatever. They wake up and then they're being forced into these labor camps to build something. And the PCs look up and it's a, what is it? It's a, not Iron Gods. It's, someone help me find the name of the Dungeons and Dragons module where there is a giant, I want to say, mountain-sized, titan-sized mechanical robot, and the entire adventure takes place inside the robot. Um, um, oh, World Shaker, World Shaker, D&D is World Shaker. There it is. Okay, okay, Earth Shaker. I found it. I found it. I found it. Mm, 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 mm. So, it's called Earth Shaker. So anyway, um, this is an old Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Is it Beckme? Yeah, Earthshake. You mean in the silly phase of Mystara? Yes, I absolutely mean that. The player characters might be involved in making this thing here to the left, where it's, what is it, t- three times the size, 2 or 3 times the size of a castle, as it's punching the side of it. I've never been a fan of Mystara itself. I just never, it just never did anything for me. But let's see if we can visit this just to get a bigger picture of this. All right, pop-ups, fucking pop-ups. What the hell? Come on, share this tab instead. Yes, I'm trying. I am trying. There we go. It's a little bit bigger. I got an image here. It's a little bigger, but anyway, um, Mr. Welch has a hilarious video about that module. I have to read it. I remember back in the day, it was just like, it blew my mind. I was like, robots and Dungeons and Dragons, but but anyway, um, the idea is that Earthshaker is dominating the region, and the PCs have to like run down, go into the ankle, and adventure their way up to the chest or brain or something like that to stop it. And there's like people inside of it that control the arms and the legs and whatnot. Anyway, and it's even kind of high level adventure if I'm not mistaken. But if the player characters are part on this day of construction and they're part of like making the pieces that will make this giant monstrosity, I think it even related to the fact that it's despite the fact that it's mechanical, that it is like the physical embodiment of one of the gods. So, for example, sometimes we kind of think of the gods as like hanging around Olympus, but you know, constructing a thing to allow the spirit of a powerful entity or the gods, um, much like necromancy, but technological. Hey, I'm going to build, big bad evil. I'm going to build a construct, and then the spirit of a thing, it's alive, goes into the thing, and then it becomes alive, like one of the an outer world entity, one of the deities or demigods or something is like, thanks for making a, you know, a 3 kilometer giant giant monstrosity. Now I can walk the earth. Van Voom says, hot take, I prefer Greyhawk over Mystara any day. But Cerealia, Birthright takes the cake. Never, I know people who swear by Birthright. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Drew says, sounds fun, mecha action in D&D. And I think this was about mid-80s, maybe early 90s. So it's almost 30 years old. Right. Yeah, and said Faerun can go back to the class they came out of. I'm not a Faerun person either. If I had to pick, I'd go Greyhawk first. Shit. I'd go Greyhawk, Mystara, and then Faerun. Maybe because it's too much. Faerun is just a little bit too much. No, I'd go Galarian. Um, I, damn. Oh, I don't 1, 2, 3. Ugh. You can't pin me down on it. Sorry, I can't. I don't know if I pin myself down on something like that. But anyway, Dark Sun. Yeah, we've got a lot of these different things. And as a matter of fact, to be honest, like let's go a little smaller with construction, right? So we're gonna I'm gonna pick apart something in Dark Sun that I love. Um, um, Dark Sun has the, the desert sands of Dark Sun aren't desert. It's actually dust. And they have these ships that have these wheels in the center of the ship, like a one-wheeled thing that allows the ships to roll through the dust so that the ship kind of sits on top of the dust and the wheel churns through the dust to get it to roll. And excuse me, and the construction of airships, dust sand ships, skate ships on the Sea of Glass in the Desert of Desolation series. Player characters might be involved in instead of just requisitioning the use of a ship to sail across the high sea or finding an old one. Maybe they're going to build one and they need to get ship builders to build a ship. Player characters may have it may be a last stand proposition. Player characters find villagers or a city besieged, and hey, they part of the castle wall fell down. Hey guys, we need to sit here and defend the city as the castle wall gets built back up again. Um, Small different things, because construction to me, the reason why I like the idea of construction is it's a tension timer, right? If it takes a week to get the castle wall refurbished before the enemy can just walk right into the city state and kill everyone, then the player characters they've got 7 days to ensure that it gets built. Now, if they have great power, they could try to rebuild it itself. If they don't, or they have some skills, they could help assemble the stone and the mortar and things like that. It could require the player characters finding people who are experts at rebuilding the thing. It could be sabotage, and the players are like counterintelligence agents trying to find people who are trying to sabotage the building of a great bridge over to a chain of islands or whatever. And the baron and the baroness are like, we were gonna use our great wealth to build a bridge so that the lower people can go to this great temple that's on this island. And maybe the temple people are like, we don't want this a bridge to where we're at. Hell no. You only come to the temple if you're invited. And the nobility is like, but everyone should be blessed under the watchful eye of the gods of knowledge or something. And that could be a thing that draws the player characters into it. Archaeology, while not necessarily we would say constructive, it is archaeology is less Indiana Jones, but even in Indiana Jones, we got to see part of it. It's less a single person falling into a crypt and finding a thing. It's actually very methodical. Hey, this is the place of an ancient person. We're going to gather hundreds of people to dig into the dirt, to then eventually use small brushes to brush things away, and then we have to cart the dirt away. And uncovering an old crypt is actually far more involved than a handful of adventurers opening up a door and going into a dungeon. It could be that it requires a small city unto itself. After great aftermath, the player characters rebuilding a place is a great idea for construction. The player characters themselves may want to construct their own wizard's tower or fort or temple or something. Maybe the world itself is being ravaged. The gods are petty, and much like in Greek mythology, the gods are petty, and the human beings are throwing up their middle fingers like "F you, Olympian gods," because they have all this petty stuff. What if maybe the god Apollo, a temple is ravaged by enemies or a storm or whatever, and the temple's destroyed, the statues fall over, and so now there's no more sunlight. And the players are like, oh man, it's really no sunlight? Nope. You're going to have to reconstruct the temple to bring the sun back because Apollo's pissed off, right? And they're like, oh, petty ass gods. Okay, fine. I guess we'll have to rebuild it or find somebody to help rebuild it or whatever. The gods are pissed off and they need help. And oftentimes in a pantheon of gods, like what happened, people don't worship Neptune, but in that going along this Olympian gods theme, but they sure will throw some coins into the base of a statue, give thanks to Neptune so that they have a nice sailing opportunity and no storms. So, a this could very well just be a tradition of this coastal town is here, but the very last thing is we have to import this statue that has to be built and carved or whatever and placed at the head of the bay so that the gods of the sea or storms or whatever are appeased. And the player characters are like, well, why should we? And everyone's like, why wouldn't you? Right? Uh, yeah. The story will suck less if you listen to hundreds of hours of Mr. Welch. I didn't like the setting either, but I gained an appreciation for it after hearing how Mr. Welch rewrote everything. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna look that up. Are you able to put in? Let me see if I can. Oh, it won't let me do it right away. Hmm. No, it's not letting me do it. Let's see. Wow, it only lets you block. You can't let somebody. I was going to say if you could possibly put in a link to the Mr. Welch YouTube channel, but it won't let you put in links. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, Dark Sun is. I agree with Shy Squad here. Yeah, Dark Sun is indeed. Dark Sun is one of the absolute greatest settings. Andrew would approved. Yep, yep. Oh shit! Said I just realized I need my cell phone to pay bus and train fare. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, A.M. Voom says that reminds me in that one quest in Skyrim where you pay that one dude to uncover a ruin, and he always calls you when the undead inside are slaughtering the workers. Yeah, while people are working, uh, this is weird to say. While one set of people are working and they clock in, uh, monsters clock in as well, right? And they're just like, "Hey, dwarves, I understand you're building your dwarven hold here or doing mining events or something like that. But hey, we're also going to eat you while you're doing the thing." And it may be that the player characters are needed to protect the people who are just trying to uh, gather supplies to build a thing. We also have the issue of when you're constructing something, where do the raw materials come from? We absolutely positively can have a lot of conflict with that druid circle who are allies with the lycanthropes, who are also allies with the fey creatures out in the woods that are like, stop cutting down our dark wood because you're using it to build a bridge or something, right? Yeah. Or maybe they have to reconstruct a new sun. Ow, Apollo's like, hey, I'm done. PCs are like, we have to do what? Well, first you got to build a tower to get up to the sun, and then you have to reignite it. So yeah, although that actually sounds really cool. That actually sounds really cool. I like it. It's a bit non-Euclidean, but I like the idea that like maybe there's someone in the world, the MacGuffin of a MacGuffin, a person, place, or thing that moves the plot forward. And maybe there's a person that inside of them, inside of their very soul, shines a light so bright it can bring daylight back to the world. But they're gone. They're depressed. They've turned their back on the world, and everyone's like, "Well, what about Apollo? What about the Sky God?" The Sky God's like, "You don't need me anymore. Frankly, I'm actually feel like retiring." And now you got to construct the tower so tall to get up there. Although the Tower of Babylon is a negative part of a story, right? We're going to create a tower up to God, and then God's like, "Yeah, pluck." I don't think so. Yeah, write in Mr. Welch and welcome to Mystara, and you'll find it. He makes the whole thing worthwhile and gives it a justification for existing. You know what? Just because you did that, I'm gonna go find this. Yeah. Oops. Let's see. Let's go. Let's get here to YouTubes. Always got to get to the YouTubes and share this. Mm, mm, uh, yep, found it. I did done find it. Let's go to his homepage and share this tab instead. And then copy this and then put this back down in here. All right, here we go. And then boop, 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 boop. Sorry, I was watching a thing about. I don't want to lose this. I was watching a thing about Black Hawk Down. Um, yeah, yeah. That's the Mr. Welsh channel. Let's see. Mm-mm. It was Apollo that faded away because of the lack of belief and faith in him that old original series Star Trek. Was it? I don't remember that having a connection, but okay. Dwarves are the worst. Since they live beneath the ground, they work the hours independent of the sun, and thus they are such an annoyance when you want to sleep, but they are hammering away. Humanity like knocking on the ground below them. They're like, "Shut up!" The dwarves are like, "We're trying to get some work done down here." That would be pretty. That would be pretty amazing. Um, so on this day, the day of the day of construction, I also believe that what the hell? I guess I don't have it. I guess I don't have it. Okay. Sorry, let's cancel this out. Drew says, I have not yet watched that video from Heath, but the one after about storytelling where he mentions that multiple times. Oh, talking about, yes. Because Drew watches Heath's channel. He's got a table talk. He's got a table talk channel and he's Geekverse channel and such, and yes, talks about Black Hawk Down and the brilliance of how it's an event driven situational movie that falls in line with like disaster movies and post-apocalyptic movies and things like that. And I'm not talking about the actual situation that brought Black Hawk Down. Talk about how the movie is designed. Yeah, but Amon Ahiza says there was a play called Victory Over the Sun. I think it's a futuristic play where the characters succeed in boxing the sun in concrete. Ow, ow. How would you do that? I can also see where it come on the day of construction. Uh, there may be a situation where the player characters are not like rebuilding a thing, but they are there's the next step in the socio evolutionary process of humanity, and the player characters could get pulled in two directions, much like how uh, in the geek verse of us, all of us talking about role playing games, how we get into situations where firearms, like technology and magic, has confronts each other. The same thing can be done for cities and things. Like, for example, building a sewer system or arranging for a place that gets flooded all the time and creating a dam. There are windmills and what's another thing? Mills in general, the ones that are powered by the flow of water, right? These are things that we see plenty of times, and the player characters might even have to reconstruct, build, repair one, um, make socially have to become envoys or be diplomatic about building something in a place where people don't want it or are afraid of what it can do, or again, changing the dynamics of people. If it took 50 people to walk down to the river to get fresh water to bring it back in buckets over their shoulders, and now you create an aqueduct with Archimedes screw, what do the people do now that were tasked with bringing the water, right? And Voom says, you all have a good one. Real life demands my attention. Have a great one. Have a great one. Um, I could see doing something fantastical, doing a non-Euclidean building of a thing, like meaning like, you know, constructing a sun or rebuilding a person's dreams or um, putting together the broken pieces of someone's memory. That would be very interesting. I mean, player characters tasked with rebuilding the wall that keeps the celestials away from the fiends. Like maybe there was a battleground or something, and even the other gods are like, "You guys are taking this blood war a little too far." And it's like the player characters have to build a bridge back to Sigil or whatever. I don't know. In a planescape type of thing. Yeah, when I either says, "Oh, reconstructing memories would be cool." Yeah, maybe someone is, uh, and when I heathen, maybe an Odin-like figure is so old and ancient that literally they've forgotten. Their memories are so old that they are worlds unto themselves, and Odin is like, ah, if only before I pass, I would love to have my memories back, because they are needed to I don't know, they are seeds for the world tree or something. And the PCs are like, oh, we're gonna have to reconstruct the memories. Well, where are the memories at, right? And the memories are these, I don't know, they could be physical chunks. They could be individuals roaming the world who don't understand that they aren't sentient individuals on their own. They're fragments of a greater being that must be reconstituted to make this larger being a thing. Like um, a godling that was hit so hard they got shattered into a dozen pieces, and those dozen pieces are all strange individuals that don't remember their origin, and are walking the world, and it's like you're a living embodiment of a memory, and a person's like, no, I'm not. Like, yeah, you are. We're gonna have to take you back. When I hear this is modern day supernatural where the cell towers go down. Yeah, and a new systems needs to be constructed, but with magic this time. No, 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 no. You're fine. Yeah, Okay, this is science fiction ish, but I love the idea of this as a limitation. It makes sense. Okay, so we know we've heard of teleport portals, right? Like make a big circle, make a big ring, activate ring, fairy fire magic, blah blah blah, CGI, walk into ring, appear somewhere else instantly, right? But imagine if the player characters have to physically travel to a distant place to then construct. This is more high tech, but the player characters could go to a place to physically construct a thing that allows instant transportation back where they came from. So it may take a 6 months travel to get there to build the thing, but once it's built and activated, you activate the thing and then you can instantly transport, walk back and forth or whatever, right? So it's possible that the players must be they are the constructeers, if you will, um constructions, constructonauts. Anyway, they are the people who construct the things that allow this proto technological society or arcane society. And I'm thinking of this idea because you said one eye heathen, like cell phone towers. There could be um magical monuments that are on ley lines that allow people to look into crystal balls to communicate far distances. But for some reason, the monuments have been destroyed or knocked over by a rebel force. So the players must assemble the monuments and build them back up, either themselves or they're protecting a group of people who are there with their plaster, or they're taking a monument to replace the broken one because you can't put the broken one back up, but we can actually dig in the ground and put another one down there. And they. So anyway, it creates this cell phone network, and the player characters have to find the saboteurs who are doing the thing, and it could be a distraction because. So I like that. Yeah, ooh, what if the characters need to construct a bridge across the plains? The rainbow bridge is shattered. You must gain the pieces, the shattered pieces of the rainbow bridge and bring them back together so that people can travel from one place to another plane of existence. I like that. Hugin and Munin are thought and memory, so this makes sense. The Odin's ravens, yeah, exactly. And me like what a raven comes to one of the player characters and pecks them on the shoulder and is like, "I need your help." And the PC's all right. Oh, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah. Hey, what? Odin's at the World Tree and forgot why he's there. Let's go get his memories back. That's awesome. Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Let's reconstruct Earth. Yep. Very non-Euclidean because you're like, wait a minute. Okay, so Earth is in a wait. Earth is inside of a thing. Let's see. Reconstruct Earth. Hitch. Yeah. Let's see if there's an image of this. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah. There's an image of Earth in a. Let's see if I can share this out here to you guys. There's an image of Earth that is inside. Where's the image at? Sorry about this. Is this it? I don't want to hit Pinterest. Shit. Let's go here. In the movie, this is an image of the Planet Factory, and here's this. There's like a section number right here, and then here's like like a piece of a shell as it's like being hauled in, and you see like cable lines and things like that of the entire Earth. I'm gonna click to Pinterest. I know I'm gonna. No, let's see. Yeah, I'll click the Pinterest one. I'm not going to go there. But yeah, here's another one. Here's another image. Apparently, they're building a new Earth. Yeah, that's cool. What kind of mega structure is that? Here's another image on Reddit, and they're like you can see the pieces, the shell of the Earth, and pieces going towards it and stuff like that. That's crazy. I love it. I love the idea of like something so big and so vast. Ooh, what's this? That looks cool too. Yeah, I love the. Oh no, no, Kitty. I'm sorry. Yes, I know you're the producer of the show, but the show hasn't ended yet. Yeah. No, Sophie Sophs. You know I love you. Rare finds, rare reads. Where's another good image here? Sorry, sorry, sorry. Mm, I lost it. Ah, she hit the thing. I lost it. Here's another wall. That's not very good. Anyway, oh, there it is. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. We'll say we'll throw that out there. Um, Imagine the sun is sick because of something humans are emitting, and a doctor version of of a star is on its way to purge the problem harming the sun. Yeah, like us. And to stop this, they have to construct some sort of anti-humans, like people who have green, the greenish brown skin. Yeah, instead of shades of pink and or whatever, black eyes, glowing irises. Yep. All right, aliens. Drew's like, yay, ancient aliens. Yeah, they have to emit something countering the harm that humans are doing to the sun. Constructicons? Yeah, I was thinking to say. I mentally I was like, oh, okay, don't say Constructicons. Yeah, reassembling the Bifrost. Yep. Hey, I found a shard here. I'm gonna strap it to my back and keep on getting up. Yeah, literally, you could be looking for Munin. Hugin could be the one that initiates the quest as you describe, and the quest for Munin leads to a quest across the plains. So Bifrost needs to be rebuilt. Hell's yes. Hell yeah. Odin's raven is like, I don't know what to do. I need help. Right? Because ravens are actually very intelligent birds themselves, so despite the whole Norse god, that part of it. TA says there is the construction of a universe too that is done by building a null space with nothing inside, but even rules for laws of physics, not even rules for laws of physics, and then folded up on its dimensions to create a cube that, when open, it reveals a universe that starts growing. You know, um, uh, the how the hell we have portable holes and bags of holding in Dungeons and Dragons, and no one questions the fact that a space that shouldn't exist exists, and it could be the player characters need to create a place for the safe construction. I'm sorry, the safe development of non-Euclidean space. So an example would be, to harness nuclear power, you need to create a nuclear power factory. To harness magic of six level spells or higher, you have to make a wizard's tower. The wizard's tower isn't just a private place for wizards to do arcane masturbatory things. It's a place that's safe to do the experiments that they're doing in the first place. It's the wizard's tower is there for, like, it's got a safety button to implode anything that's created, because wizards are always being blamed for a bunch of bullshit that they've done. I mean, listen, half the monsters that are created because of wizards being a-holes, right? So maybe the player characters are like, oh, no, 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 you're not creating the wizard's tower for an ego. You're creating it because it's the safe place for the thing to be created in the first place. Like, what happens when you accidentally make a mistake when creating a bag of holding? You probably create a black hole, right? So, hey, wizard that wants to summon a demon, maybe you shouldn't do that. Hit the implosion button, right? Yeah, when it oh yeah, I like that weird idea. Reminds me of H.P. Lovecraft story. It sure does. The idea of a sixth star. I think I tagged the wrong person, but the Lovecraft story involved one star. Yeah, conscious being chasing another. The Wall of Sleep. That's what the story is called. Wow. TA says, yeah, I had an idea for bigger on the inside where the cavity of the container emits energy that affects the radiant properties so that things exist as warm and fluid, but at a fraction of the size. I'm going to have to curtail your creativity to help me with my Obsidian Star project. Anyway, so basically entering the area causes all the cells that are more than 10,000 parts vacuum to each one part matter and energy, thus shrinking them by 1,000 fold. So, oh, it's like shrinking it down. Oh, because of the space between. But wow, that's awesome. That's strange, but very awesome. I'm trying to. I'm not going to go search anything. Anyway, yeah. Thus, the cavity would be capable of holding 1,000 times in each direction, three dimensionally. Yeah, if you could shrink the spaces between, shrink the open spaces between atoms, you could potentially do that. Although wouldn't that create a black hole? If you could do it stably without the gravitational pull of it, that would be sweet. No, because wouldn't it still maintain the same mass? It doesn't matter. The point being is that yeah, extra dimensional spaces, collapsing the spaces between the things. Yeah, would the cavity compress time as well? What would that be? What would what would be the effect of that? Ooh, damn, damn, yeah, wow. Wow. A 4-foot cube would have a space that was 4,000 feet by 4,000 by 4,000 foot. Wow. That's true. That's true. Yeah. What do you have in your backpack? The world. Well, it's only a cube. I know. If I say the word, if I press right here, yeah. No black hole because the rate of expansion is shrunk, allowing things to exist at temp. Oh, and size as if it were in normal size and space. Yes, I get. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I hadn't gotten there yet. I was like, wait a minute. The a black hole collapse is because of the acceleration, which releases the energy, which is it's a cyclical cyclical thing. But you're saying it's done without all the heat and energy expelled from it. That's cool. That would be that would be great. So anyway, guys, I listen. Thank you so much for being on the show. One Eye Heathen. All desires go out to you, desires and blessings to go out to you to get your cell phone back, or alleviate the issue by being able to, I don't know, get another one or whatever. I hope it works out. I really do, seriously, because it hurts. It's hurting my feelings right now, and I don't like it. But anyway, I've taken a lot of your time, guys. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Luna. It's only going to be like half the show, and then I'm going to express some things about Obsidian Sun and his post-human tabletop role-playing game that I'm developing, of the setting and the world building and that kind of thing. The rules are coming to the fore. I'm not making the rules. I'm going to use another system. I could use rules, but there's no point in doing that. When it says thank you, I hope against hope I return tomorrow with good news. Oh, hell's yes, and oh, and get some sleep as well. T says time would be affected if Einstein is right too. So time would move at an accelerated rate. So 1 minute of time outside would give a 1,000 thousands of minutes to make and execute actions. Massive advantage. Ooh, shit. I'm going to use that as a prompt. Anyway, guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace.